If you'll just give us about 2 minutes, we'll set up the microphones. We'll probably put one here that you can come to. And I'll pass this microphone down to the whoever asks questions of the Sunray group, Stonebridge, the mayor, or Andrew. Okay, so just give me a couple of minutes, please. Go ahead.
Actually, my team is here. I'm going to ask Kenny Gibson to participate and answer some of these questions here. Wait, can you please? We couldn't hear the question.
Come on up and repeat the question. There you go.
In terms of a critical path, great news being announced today, May 2025. Shovel in the ground 2026. Costco was mentioned 4 months from the ground, shovel in the ground. What's the Marriott hoping to open in the conference center and hotel?
Thank you.
I think generally from the time that we break ground, we're probably 18 months from breaking ground to open. So we've been assured by the town that they're going to expedite all of our permitting and work with us very closely as they have been doing. So we're anticipating 18 to 24 months.
Any other questions? Yeah. Oh, here's a ringer.
My question's actually for Ethan. So my friends, we were just discussing the logistics of carrying the platter of meat from our 1,500 square feet of accommodation up to our upper rooftop balcony where the barbecue's gonna be. Is there gonna be a lift? Or are we gonna have to run 2 flights of stairs?
Yep.
No, I didn't break it. So we're going to be looking at doing both. There would be an option to do elevators up to the top floor as well. Yeah, it's definitely an option in there.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, okay.
Where's he going?
Got one way back here, and then we'll work our way up there. Was it in here? Okay.
And I was wondering, with all the beautiful things coming to Wasaga Beach, all the construction, the hotels, and all the stuff, are we thinking about the roads? How to construct the roads before we having all this coming people to Wasaga?
So I've had this question many times over the years. As the mayor mentioned earlier, Wasaga Beach at its height used to bring in upwards of 4 million tourists. We are nowhere near that. We're 2.5 right now. So this place can accommodate a lot of people. It does get really busy. Obviously there will be improvements to road infrastructure over time. There's been a third bridge planned forever, I think, as long as I can remember. At some point we will pull the trigger on that third bridge. There will be more roads built, etc. But we monitor traffic patterns and we have a 10-year capital plan. We're currently working on River Road. The next road we'll work on is Moseley on the west end towards 26. So again, there will be improvements over time, but we hope it will be busy because again, that's a sign of success. Think about the places you like to go to when you're on vacation. I'll probably venture a guess that you probably don't like to travel to places that aren't busy. Usually you go to places that are busy because they're cool and they're vibrant and they're interesting. That's what we're building here, is that kind of place that you get to live in. So the key will be balancing that and making sure that the residents come first, tourists second, but yeah, it's gonna be busy and we'll plan appropriately and bring in infrastructure as required.
Thank you. I'll just add to that. We do have a traffic plan. I think we're getting ready to do our next traffic study that is due in the next year or so. That will give us more up-to-date information. I think we do one every 5 to 7 years. So we'll get that information. But, you know, here's what I would say to folks. In order to fix the infrastructure issue, you have to have the development, because it's the development that pays for that infrastructure. And so if we, you know, and Premier Ford talked about this on Friday, if we don't have development, we don't get those development charges, we don't have the dollars it takes to build that infrastructure. And right now, I don't mind sharing with you all, because I think it's important for you to know that our development DC's reserves are low, and they're low for a couple of reasons. They're low because we've just finished a $21 million project from Veterans Way to Blueberry Trails for River Road West. But they're also low because a lot of those reserves were borrowed from to build this building, because we didn't have partnership with the province and the federal government on a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So you are footing that bill, unfortunately, today to carry this until we get those reserves built back up, more development happening. Now, we've been able to attract the province to give us $11 million. I've made it clear to Premier Ford that we'll be banging on his door again very soon for more money for water tower, for example, in the West End, so we can start to develop further out in the West End of town. So until then, what do? Well, as full-time residents, we learn that in the summer, we do our grocery shopping on Wednesday, not on Saturday. And if we do want to go grocery shopping on Saturday, enjoy the trip. Take a drive down around Beach Drive, support the businesses down there as well, and enjoy the trip. I enjoy the traffic when it happens here, but I was born and raised with it. It's all I know, and it's what I love. It's why I'm still here. But you know, there's growing pains, especially when you're the town like Wasaga Beach, fastest growing community in Canada for several years. We're still in the top 5 or 10 today, second fastest in the county. So yes, I want you all to be clear that we talk about and think about and plan for traffic and infrastructure every day. But until we have the dollars to move that forward, we need development to give us those dollars.
First of all, I would like to say I am very excited about all the plans coming to this community. I think it's well overdue. I just have a question, Mark. When you had your slides going through here about the development on the beach, on one of them, down in brackets, down near the bottom, it said access to private beach. And so my little antennas went up in that private beach. I know that there's a lot of concern. I don't know if that's an old slide from Stonebridge with your beach place that you have over on the river or what, but just want to make sure that none of the beach down there in beach area 1, 2 is going to be private.
Not at all.
Okay.
What that was, so I said earlier, one of the things that attracted us to the development was the fact that it was on Main Street. And then we started to kind of think about that, and we thought, that's wonderful, but it would be also nice to have a connection to the water, because this is a water-based community. So hence the name evolved, Stonebridge by the Bay. So we bought that beach house and turned it into kind of a party room. So people that live in that community, there's I guess 237 families that have access to that. But that's a completely different form of development than what we're proposing here. I wholeheartedly believe the little park that we're doing in the middle of Beach Drive and that is going to be a public park. It's not going to be a private park. It's going to be a public park, and hopefully a place that everybody wants to go. They'll be able to, you know, sit in a nice landscaped area with shade structures and things like that, and enjoy the beach from a place like that. But there's absolutely no intention for private.
This is for the Sunray group. First of all, though, I have to say, my God, Brian, fabulous, over the top. Andrew, thank you very much. This is incredible. But I have to ask, you're building the hotel, but in behind the hotel, there was another whole area there, and I think we were talking like 300 homes or something in there. Is there a component in there for assisted seniors living or seniors living or anything of that nature? I know.
Dr. Gupta.
So on the immediate development where the 300 homes are going, there's no plans for assisted seniors living there. We are in talks with the town on looking at some sites to potentially build an independent seniors facility. We're early in discussion right now, so again, nothing is guaranteed or promised at this point, but know that as soon as the town found out that that's part of our portfolio, conversations have started and we're looking to see what we can do for that.
Hi, everybody. Just want to say you guys did an amazing job. I think what's going to happen with the whole beach development is going to be amazing, and I like that it's keeping with our cultural heritage, the historic heritage with the Nancy Island, but I also think the environmental heritage is really important as well. So I guess my two-part question is to the development groups is more about just some of the sustainability types of things that will be involved in building and construction, things like, you know, permeable pavers, things like that, possibly making them net zero construction that. And then part two is more towards, I guess, Andrew in the town is my talk. The concerns about just the beach area one going out to the spit where the piping plovers have their nesting sites, and we have historical dunes, which are a very important part of our history. And if you look into beach two, I've actually measured a couple trees that were probably seedlings during the War of 1812, and some pines that go back probably to Confederacy. So I'm just, you know, get a little concerned when you hear about all the provincial sites being transferred, that they're just going to get all kind of bulldozed down to create housing without considering our very sensitive dune lands, like I know as a way to balance the dunes with our development and the existing forest and some of our historic trees.
Okay, well, why don't I start and then I'll turn it over to Mark and Ray's team. So that is absolutely not the intention on the lands that's being transferred. Quite frankly, we don't have a plan yet. That's part of what we will be working on over the next little while. We need to sit down with the province and understand, are there any conditions that come with this? We know the beach must remain public. I don't know what other conditions may exist. We will absolutely respect all natural features. Part of the spit, there is a protected environmental area. We won't be touching that. So we will need to understand what area will remain park. There will need to be parking out there, absolutely. And then what lands are available for development and what should go there. There's probably going to be some residential. The mayor mentioned some attractions. I think this gives us an opportunity to really partner with the province and go out and chase things like a Great Wolf Lodge or something of that magnitude that we've been talking about forever. But again, it's too early to know. We're going to be working with the province, and again, we'll build this plan together and be extremely respectful of the environment and all of your wishes.
I can deal with it from a hotel standpoint. So one of the things that is the community should take comfort in is that Marriott has a whole department that is devoted to sustainability and making sure that we build and we operate very, very much with that in mind. So Marriott is a good watchdog for us. We have those programs in place with our construction department and our team internally. So we have a very close alignment in maintaining and preserving the environment.
Hey folks, I'm Rich Halliday. I'm in liaison with our theater and fashion and beauty community here and tie in with the theater aspects of life. as an employee and subcontractor for Drayton Entertainment, and I work in liaison with Mervish Productions. And as an insider, I just want to know who the powers that be that we would suggest it to, that you won't get the big shooters at your theater unless you have an exterior entrance and marquee that accesses the public without going through the high schools. So the aspect there is, who would you talk to as a production design team to ask if there's a possibility of an exterior entrance and a marquee, so as Brian mentioned, to bring in the big shooters like Mervish and Drayton. Drayton is already interested, but that question was posed to me through Alex Moustakis and David Conley, the two artistic directors there.
So thank you for that question, and I'd love to chat with you because you clearly have a lot of knowledge that we would benefit from learning. I'll tell you, we have actually thought about that. That the whole corner of the school has been designed to be sectioned off, and it can operate as its own cultural center. So evenings, weekends, holidays, summer, it will have its own entrance, it will have its own grand entry. You will not have to walk through the school to get there. So it has been extremely thoughtfully designed with all back of house, all the supporting rooms, etc. So I'm happy to sit down with you and share that with you and welcome your feedback on it, quite frankly. Okay.
Hi there, to your left. I am a local architectural designer. I work in Barrie, but I live in Wasaga. I'm going to sound critical for a second. Architects, you're used to it, just because of the way that design works. I got to be honest with you, the housing portion feels like a little bit of a miss. I heard talks that there was inspiration from Blue Mountain, which is wonderful. It's wandering, it feels close, it feels niche, it feels, you feel welcome there. And to be honest, when I saw the site plan, I saw a sea of parking and row housing, which economically, totally understand, but it doesn't feel like a welcoming public space. So I guess looking at the beach, how are we planning to engage people and have stopping power and more public spaces in a way of engaging people, rather than just trying to build a public park and saying, if you build it, they will come?
Well, I am not an architect and I'm not a planner, but what I will tell you, we have all the stopping power in the world. It's called the longest freshwater beach in the world, and the most beautiful sunsets in the world, and a community that will be made up of, in many cases, hand-picked businesses that will fit our community and bring services and shops that you all require. So we don't have 30 shoe stores, for example, and one dress shop. But at the end of the day, this is the beginning stages. This is the first stage, if you will, of a complete plan. And so if you look, if you're talking from 1st Street to 3rd Street, and the Sunray, or sorry, the Stonebridge part of it, the Live Works that will front on Beach and on 1st Street, and then some commercial back along Moseley as well. There will be ample parking when all is said and done for those businesses to have people stop and be able to be close by. And then when you look at the Sunray end of it, you will, so Spruce Street and our Main Street. Main Street is where our Festival Square is going to be, which will again have shops along that. And that is going to be more that internal feel that I think you talk about when you talk about the Village of Blue. But if you go to the Village of Blue, you have that internal walkway that you kind of go down to then that large open space of their square. And then you have offshoots of that. And that's basically what it's going to be here. But again, until you can take an aerial view and put it on there, I understand what you're saying and that it looks like a miss today. But be rest assured that the plan and $2 million to help us continue that plan and make sure we get it right, we're going to get it right. Andrew?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I'm not an architect, I'm a landscape architect, but I've spent the last 26 years doing urban design around North America. Respectfully, I disagree with your assessment. I think both Sunray and Stonebridge have done a pretty good job. I think the architecture is engaging, it's respectful, it honors the heritage of this place. It's outward looking, They've been very deliberate about public streets, First Street mostly, Beach Drive, having active ground floors, boutique shops, restaurants, etc. That's stopping power. A great restaurant, a great ice cream store. That's how you get mommy and daddy to take little Johnny and their daughter over to grab an ice cream. That's what the beach is all about. This is a different context from the Village of Blue. I know a little bit about the Village of Blue. I was VP of the company that built the Village of Blue. So it's a different context. It needs to be designed differently from the Village of Blue. Our beachfront needs to be able to access views and vistas to the waterfront. But I believe there's no one better that understands retail commercial than the gentleman to my right. He's the largest commercial developer and owner in this town. And I'm very confident that what he puts on the ground floor is going to attract people, residents, tourists, etc. Very confident in the skills and experience of Sunray, who are going to do the exact same thing on the ground floor of their hotel, shops, restaurants. The ability for us to go and have a great meal in a restaurant overlooking Georgian Bay year-round is something that's going to bring not only stopping power and bring people here, but that's going to be a destination for people around Georgian Bay to come here. And there's more coming. The shops, restaurants, etc., that will be built as part of the residential component fronting on a town square. That's the stopping power that you see in the main square as part of the Village of Blue. That's what's going to happen around that main public space. So respectfully, I disagree, but I'm happy to sit down with you and talk through, and I welcome your thoughts and ideas. We can always improve, and we improve by listening and understanding what our community values.
I would just like to add to that. So when we developed the Stonebridge Town Center, which is anchored by a Walmart, one of the things, and a lot of people have heard me say this, but I'm going to say it again. Well, the key was there to build a basket. And a basket is taking all the pieces together so that they add and build strength to the other pieces. So you put in a restaurant, you put in a dentist, you put in an optician, you put in a physiotherapist, you put in a pet store, you put in all these things that complement each other by working together. And that's what we want to do with the commercial. I've said this to Andrew 100 times. One of the things that was so brilliant that I think we lost with the downtown master plan when they first executed was he very quickly created these little trailers that would very quickly create a little marketplace, a place for little businesses to set up. And that was the seeds that would start this collective kind of boutique-y type of environment that's in the town of the Blue Mountains. So we unfortunately, I tried to buy those after they were removed. I wasn't able to do that, but that's the kind of thing that evolves. And it's about creating a basket down there, a basket like what we've done in Stonebridge. So we don't put people in that are going to compete with other people. We put in things that create harmony and good synergy and baskets that support each other.
Thank you. We got a question off to the resident.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations. This is a tremendously exciting time to live in Wasaga Beach. For those of us that like to cycle, you talk about Niagara the Lake, talk about Blue Mountain. They're very cycle-friendly places. And I wonder if consideration has been given to cyclists when everything starts really taking off in Beach 1 and 2.
Believe it or not, I don't look like a cyclist currently, but I am. I need to get back on my bike. I was actually out a couple days ago. I hear you loud and clear. It's critically important to build great trails along our waterfront. They're not there yet. I agree with you. I ride my bike. Permanent home for me is Port Credit. I ride the 150 kilometers to Niagara. a couple times every summer. I'm gonna do it in a couple weeks once I get a few more rides under my belt, so that my belt will actually fit. But I hear you. I think we can improve the infrastructure here, and it needs attention. It needs to be connected. It needs to be hard surface so that you can have people rollerblading, cycling, road bikes, etc. So that's on the list of things that we need to improve. I think we have the potential here to build a world-class trail along our beachfront that will connect with Collingwood and Woodland and all the way up to Baum. So we've got all the ingredients, but it's not there today, but I'm confident we'll get it there and again, not gonna be a year, but it'll take a couple years to get it there, but we're on it.
I just want to take a quick second to this gentleman over here, and I didn't catch your name, but, I'm sorry? Brandon. I don't want you to leave here feeling like, boy, did they ever come after me. I want you to know that we absolutely appreciate everyone's viewpoint, and on every Monday from 9 till noon at Town Hall in Wasaga Beach, our CAO Andrew McNeill has an open forum where anyone can come in and see him and speak to him. And so I encourage you, if you can, and if not, call and we'll make an appointment for a time that suits you. But come on in, because we do want to hear from people like you who have that experience and get your thought process. So I invite you to do that if you can, to reach out to Andrew or call Town Hall, come on in and chat with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Lori Skoko here. I just want to say thank you very much to all of you for your hard work. You take a lot of criticisms online and all of that, and rarely do you get the accolades. You worked really hard. It's not easy to bring all these people together. And Stonebridge, you came before anyone came, and you did a great job, and you gave us a lot of things that we needed. And even in your development that you proposed at 18th and Mosley, you really worked with the community there, that when they weren't happy with what was happening, you really worked to come with a plan. And so it just shows the integrity of the group. I think they're all lovely. I think I've been waiting for Wasaga so long. I think anything is welcome at this point. And I look forward to Sunray group, look forward to dining at your fine restaurants and hosting, my kids' weddings there and having events there and bringing people, because regardless of the weather, when you got a great view of the water at sunset, I can just see it as a destination around the world. And since we were locked, after Trudeau unlocked us, and I was tired of nothing happening here, I went and traveled a little bit and I saw what was going on. And we are the longest freshwater beach in the world. I got little countries like Jamaica, 28 towers, tallest towers in the Caribbean going up right now. How come we're not up there competing? We're Canada. We have got the Great Lakes. We have so much over here. I'm not sure now. Have we talked about an international airport? We have the Collingwood Airport. We don't need big jets, but maybe we can get some private jets coming in with people who want to stay in the area. So I'm wondering if that's ever been considered, or maybe you want to consider it. Perhaps you don't have to answer to that now, but I'm planting a seed here that would be nice, as there is a lot of wealth in the world, that this could be a great destination to get the private jet and come here and enjoy Wasaga Beach, maybe even just for a sunset. Now, on another note, I'll say it all now so then you can answer. The lands that you're looking that are owned by the province, and I know there are a lot, I've seen them and I've seen them in the area. Are you going to get into discussions to possibly offer those to the residents that are already there? Because sometimes some of us live next to a lot that is owned by the province, and we know they don't maintain it and they do that. And maybe there are some people that are bought those lands that would like to have the first right of refusal to purchase those lands from the province, maybe brokered through the town. So is that a consideration? Did you discuss that at all with Premier Ford? Thank you.
I see the mayor standing up. I think he wants to take that one. I'll take the airport one. We have an airport. It's called Collingwood Airport. You do get small private jets that fly into Collingwood Airport. There are some rather wealthy residents of our community, some of the wealthiest folks in Canada, that have cottages in our town that do fly in and out from that airport. So Oh, so I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but an international airport is just not going to happen in Mississauga. We've got a great one in Mississauga, and we've also got one in Hamilton. But yeah, we just don't have the scale and travel to support an international airport here.
Thanks, Andrew. So yes, we do have the Collingwood Airport, which can take any commuter-style jet. We also have the South Simcoe Regional Airport that is now 100% owned by the County of Simcoe. And that airport is growing, that it can take fairly large planes, but is it ever going to become an international airport? It's, well, not in my day, and probably not in a lot of folks' day. But, you know, it's something that we are working towards on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly, yearly basis. And, you know, we can only do what is within our power to do. To your last question about the properties, some of these properties are currently owned by Infrastructure Ontario, and some of these properties, or a lot of these properties, are owned by the MECP. So what has to happen is the MECP needs to deregulate those lots and those properties and then turn them over to Infrastructure Ontario. Infrastructure Ontario then has to declare them surplus and then they go on the open market. I can tell you as the mayor, and I can probably speak for council on this matter, we're not getting in that. We are not getting in that can of worms in any way, shape, or form over who can or can't buy the properties. As we get more information and that becomes available, we'll certainly ask Infrastructure Ontario. Well, we don't have to ask. They'll be advertising these lands for sale. And so my suggestion, if you're interested in something, to reach out to them sooner rather than later and let them know that. So as that they're aware of your interest in that property, especially if you are an abutting property owner or something to that effect. But from a political standpoint, boy, oh boy, the official opposition in Wasaga Beach would have a heyday for that if we were to get into who should be buying properties from the province and who shouldn't. So I appreciate your confidence, Lori, but sorry, not going there.
It's on. My name's Ted Allcroft, if it matters. I moved into Stonebridge in the summer of 2010. Not long after I was in there, I sent a letter to the editor, to Joe Bickerstaff. I've been a boater all my life, and I took one look at that point and the entrance of the river, and it was my impression that that was an ideal site for a world-class marina. I mean, a marina with a beautiful beach within walking distance is not very common, if at all available, anywhere in Georgian Bay or anywhere else I've parked my boat over the years. And Joe responded, I think tongue-in-cheek, with a sketch of exactly what I was suggesting. Apparently someone, years before, had proposed a very upscale marina in that entrance. And Joe's response back to me was, well, you've been working with developers all your life. Why don't you develop it? That's too late for me, but probably a grand opportunity for Mark Crowe, who is never misses an opportunity, and I'm pleased to say that. Just one other comment is when I first ran into Brian Smith was at a campaign stop at Mark Crowe's beach house, which is Stonebridge's beach house. And I remember asking then, we were talking about all these various developers, and I said, well, why are we shopping around? I mean, we got the best guy in the world right here is Mark Crowe, why not? So all I can say is I'm glad that you guys finally saw it my way and got together.
I echo your comment. I think Mark is the best of the best, and we're lucky to have him in this community. And I absolutely love the branding of the Stonebridge Marina and Yacht Club. Interesting enough, I know exactly what you're talking about because I have that sketch in my office. It was done, I didn't look at the date, I think it was done 20 or 30 years ago. So it does actually exist. There was a drawing done of a marina out in the bay. I don't know if it's technically possible or not, but with this money that we've been given, we can explore it. Again, I don't know if it's real or not, so please don't post on Facebook that Andrew says we're building a marina. All I'm saying is we can explore ideas, and I think that is a very good idea. Being able to attract boat traffic from all over Georgian Bay, to bring them here, to go to a great meal at the restaurant, stay overnight, etc. I think that's a worthwhile thing to explore. I would also say I think there's the potential for us to be reaching out to try and get some federal dollars for some projects. That's the kind of project that the federal government may be interested in. Now there are technical issues because you're impacting currents and all that kind of stuff, but there are engineers that can explore it and see if it's worthwhile or not. I don't know, no promises, but we can take a look.
May I ask a follow-up to that? Because I think what's important is you've mentioned that the province is giving us this property. I hope everybody can hear me. That idea, would it fit as a public beach as opposed to it becoming private? You wouldn't be stepping over that hurdle.
No, so the question is, if you were to explore a marina, would that be stepping on the public beach requirement? I don't think so. I mean, I think we would probably be looking at a public marina. But again, these are just ideas that we're spitballing here. But again, we're going to have, as part of this process, the idea for people to spitball. That's part of the process that we will go through. And if anybody else has other ideas, bring them forward and we'll take a look at them and come up with a great plan.
I would like to thank everybody tonight for showing up. On behalf of the WBRA, I think this is our biggest crowd, isn't it? It is. So thank you very much for your support, and I'd like to thank our guest speakers. It was very informative, and we look forward to great things in the years to come. So thank you, everyone. Drive home safe. Thank you.